Anthony August Larson here. I'm here with a friend today. How's it going, Jay?
Doing well.
And now your name is Jennifer, right?
Yes.
But you go by Jay?
I go by Jay.
Okay, okay. And we are here today to talk about Indian Warrior.
Absolutely.
And tell me about your experience with Indian Warrior.
Okay, sure. So I have some difficulty going to sleep, and I definitely have some anxiety and stuff like that. I really mostly use it to sleep. Usually I just take a little bit before bed. Sometimes I'll mix it with my kratom if I'm using one of the red strains, and that helps as well.
With your what?
With my kratom.
Whoa, what's kratom?
Kratom is, so it's a leaf that's crushed into a powder, and you can use it. So I use it for the anti-inflammatory properties. I also use it for energy sometimes, depending on that strain that I use. But kratom has been really awesome, and it's really, I mean, just like with the Indian Warrior, they both helped me significantly dealing with a lot of the mental health stuff that's going on with my body and anxiety, inflammation, and stuff.
Wow, Jay, I think it's very special that you'll be so candid, and tell people about something as personal as mental health situations.
Absolutely.
So, about the Indian Warrior, how does it work? It's a powder, right?
Yes. So it's a powder. It's an extract that I put in usually water. Honestly, the flavor isn't unbearable. I wouldn't even capsule it or anything like that. I know that with kratom, sometimes people will capsule it. Indian Warrior, mixing it in water and downing it really isn't a big deal, especially after trying other things. The flavor's pretty bland. And after probably about 45 minutes, I can lay down and I just start feeling a lot more relaxed.
Okay, so you actually take it together with the kratom. Do you ever take it by itself?
I do. I take it by itself more often than I do take it with the kratom.
Okay, and could you just explain how it feels in your body when you take it? Like, how long does it take to kick in? What do you feel like going away or coming in terms of sensation?
So Indian Warrior is pretty subtle when it comes to the onset of the beneficial properties. Usually whenever I take it, I will go ahead and lay down. So it'll be part of my a bedtime routine. So I'll drink the Indian Warrior, and then I'll go ahead and start getting comfortable in bed, maybe watch a show. And usually within 30 minutes, by the end of a show, maybe starting to go into the second one, I just start feeling, the tension isn't there. I think that's one of the big factors in me having a hard time sleeping, is just that tension. And so that just kind of starts to slowly dissipate. Like I said, it's really not like a boom onset, like you feel amazing now. It's a very gentle, almost like drinking sleepy time teas, only a little bit stronger.
Okay, okay. So pretty much just enough to allow you to get the rest you want.
Absolutely.
Have you ever taken it in the daytime when you're out and about?
So I've taken small quantities in the daytime, occasionally, especially whenever I have, I think I took it before a presentation at school. We were doing a presentation, and I just thought, you know what, I feel a little bit nervous right now. My anxiety is definitely pretty high, and it was a pretty big presentation. It was pretty important. So I just went ahead and took a little bit of the Indian Warrior, which I think, like I said before, that onset is pretty smooth, pretty gentle, and just taking a little bit of it just kind of helped me, definitely with the shakes and with the and just be able to present more comfortably.
Well, you're not the only one that's taking it for social anxiety. That's something that I hear about quite a bit, and in fact, it was the social anxiety, I should say, crowd, people that have the courage to admit that informed me about it several years ago, and so I think it sounds like it's benefited you in your school.
Absolutely.
Do you mind if I ask what your career is, or what you're a student, right?
Yes, I'm actually a student of social work.
Okay.
And so I actually, just being able to use the kratom and the Indian Warrior and getting a better picture of the herbal options that are out there, even as a future social worker, I think that I can definitely add this to my life, into policy and advocating for other people to be able to use it. We learn a lot about a lot of problems, like opium use, the opium crisis right now. That's a big topic in social work. And to know that there's an option that kratom is an Indian warrior and all these other herbal options are out there that have really, really helped people.
Jay, clearly you're a bright girl, and I think that you might find this interesting. There is one social dynamic that more people have told me, very thankfully, the Indian warrior has touched in their life, and that is with tomorrow being Valentine's Day. Actually, I'll let you guess.
Okay. Intimacy?
Yes, relationships. I've had people tell me, oh, every month for about a week, as a married man, I find that Indian warrior very, very useful because, menstruation happens, right? I have three sisters. I love the women in my life.
Absolutely.
And I think it's amazing to hear people like you talking about how it helps you specifically. That relationship thing is to me very important. I see that. And do you think it could help in relationships?
Absolutely. I think that especially when you're looking at the relief of tension, I think tension and stress, individual tension and stress creates partner tension and stress. And also with that social anxiety, I think that just being able to relax is such a pivotal part of being in a relationship and being able to be in partnership with somebody.
Yes, and that's a very good point. And is there a physical sensation, would you say? Like, do you feel your muscles relaxing, or is it mostly in your head, or kind of both?
So I think that when I take the small quantities, whenever I am going to present or something like that during the day, it's probably more so in my head, other than, just not shaking as much or not feeling as nervous physically. But definitely before bed, I would say that I can feel when I look back and I think, oh man, suddenly I just realized that I'm relaxed and I can really feel that tension out of my shoulders. And it just, some nights vary. Some nights I'll take a little bit more or a little bit less, just kind of depending on where I'm at. But it's always helped me sleep through the night, which is very helpful. Get to sleep easier, and when I wake up, I don't feel terrible, which is one of those side effects from so many sleep medications.
Sure.
Is maybe it'll help you through the night, but you wake up to feeling so awful. And I don't get that with Indian Warrior, so it really helps me.
That's important. So then, with that in mind, then for people who use it to release the tension in their muscles, in that case, would you say it could help with pain?
I could see that it could help with pain. I definitely think that, especially when it's a lot of that tension pain, neck pain, stuff like that, I could definitely see it helping with that. Now during the day for me, I have to take a little bit smaller quantities just because of the fact that it can make me very relaxed and drowsy. But I think that especially if it's something that you do, when you can't, I know my dad has horrible neck and shoulder pain and he can't sleep. Because he's in so much pain, and I'm sure that if you took some Indian Warrior before bed, that would also help relieve the pain.
That's a really good point. Now, what would you say about driving? Does it make you feel intoxicated?
So I've only a couple of times taken enough to where the only adverse effect was that I just had very weird dreams. They were very lifelike. But honestly, whenever I take the smaller quantities during the day to just kind of ease that stress, that anxiety, I've never had an issue with driving.
Okay. So you would say from 0 to 100, in terms of making you feel intoxicated or driving impairment, it would be a 0.
Right, absolutely. And I mean, if you take it in the larger quantities that really help induce the sleep, it might be like taking some Benadryl.
Okay.
So it might make you a little drowsy just Benadryl wise. So, especially if you're taking those quantities for sleep, it might be something that you just want to test out one night, and not drive, just to see how you feel.
That's a very good point.
Like with medications.
Yeah, absolutely. Have you felt any side effect with this?
Honestly, no. I mean, the crazy dreams maybe would be the only side effect. Apart from that, I really haven't had any issues. No.
Okay. Can we see what it looks like?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Have it in a bag.
Yeah, hold it down just a little bit, please. And then you said you take about a teaspoon?
Yeah, so I take about a teaspoon, and sometimes I'll take less. Sometimes I might take 2 teaspoons.
Okay. And you said it takes about 40 minutes, I think you said? Or?
Yeah, so usually by the end of a show, you know,
Okay.
like maybe the 30-minute show or something like that,
Okay,
you know,
okay.
is usually when I start to feel more relaxed. But usually I can't make it past 2 shows, so I usually am asleep by then.
Would you- Yeah. Would you say that it intensifies the feeling of the kratom?
If I take it with the kratom, and if I take it with a kratom that I'm taking before bed, so a non-energizing kratom, yes, I would definitely say that it really helps. It's got that synergetic effect.
Okay, fair enough. Well, I really appreciate your coming today.
Absolutely.
Thanks again.
No problem.